Well, Reds broadcaster Marty Brennaman announces that he is retiring after the 2019 season.
That will be his 46th season behind the Reds mic. Not on Your Side sports director John Popovich joins us with what Brennaman says he's going to miss about the job.
Kristen, the voice of the Reds, announced his retirement today on Twitter. Imagine that. He says he'll miss a lot of things, but the fans are at the top of the list. Brennaman replaced Al Michaels on the Reds radio team back in 1974, coining the phrase, and this one belongs to the Reds, after each Cincinnati win. He joined the broadcasting wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown in 2000. Brennaman shared the radio booth with Reds Hall of Fame pitcher Joe Nuxhall for 31 years. They affectionately became known as Marty and Joe. No last names were needed. Nuxhall died in 2007.
Of all the things that I learned from Joe Nuxhall in 31 years, the one thing I learned was there's nothing wrong with crying. I've learned, and I think anybody's been around all day known I've done it 2 or 3 times already. And that's going to be tough, but all of it will come from the heart, because I've had a hell of a run here, and you guys have been great with me. I've developed tremendous friendships.
And the run has a year to go. Hey, joining me now on the set to talk about Brennaman's impact on the city is Reds team historian Greg Rhodes. Thank you for coming in to do this. I know you enjoyed him. Whoever follows him has a tough act to follow, but he had a tough act to follow.
Well, he sure did. He followed Al Michaels, a familiar and famous name. When Dick Wagner Dick Wagner was assistant general manager at the time and looking for a replacement for the great Al Michaels, and the tapes started to flood in, and Dick said he'd never hired him. He didn't know exactly what to do, so he just started listening to the tapes, putter around the house, listen to the tapes, and the guy that was the easiest to listen to, that he could listen to the longest, was Marty Brennaman.
And he was really a basketball announcer before that, right?
Yeah, he'd done a lot of basketball, ABA, the old ABA, and he'd also done AAA baseball. So he had a great combination: basketball, fast tempo, but baseball, sort of those long moments that you got to fill. And it turned out he had so much polish in his play-by-play announcing.
And it was magic almost from the start with him and Joe Nuxhall. I mean, they did Kroger commercials. They were known everywhere in this town.
There were those Kroger commercials for a while where they would go shopping together,
right,
and then come back to this little house, and it was like, when did they move in together? I didn't realize they'd done that. But yeah, they just had the personality, the chemistry between those two is something we'll just never see that. It's just a great pairing.
Well, which was perfect because Joe was down home and Marty was very polished.
Exactly.
Very good. For more on well, let's go back to Kristen and Craig.
And for more on the announcement of Marty Brennaman's retirement, head to WCPO.com. There you will find more on the news conference from this afternoon, plus some of his most memorable moments in Reds history.